Welcome to another episode of Dr. G at the Heart of Healthcare. We're in season 2. We're almost getting to the end of season 2. I can't believe it. I have a guest here, James Jones. He is the founder and CEO of Golden Years Senior Living Advisors, and we're going to talk about his work. Hello, James.
Hi, Dr. G.
So glad to have you here.
Oh, thank you. It's
Um,
good to be
yeah, everyone, we met at a recent where did we meet? We met at a cute cafe with the Peace of Mind networking group. Where was that cafe called?
It's
Because I took
called
a
the Super Bloom Cafe. It overlooks Mission Bay.
that was so cute. Like I want to go there this weekend. Yeah. So anyway, we met there, a great group of colleagues. We all do some things in the senior care industry. And James here, he has this concierge senior living advisor agency, and he is helping seniors. What I find so interesting about you is that you have the 20 years of experience as a realtor helping people find their homes. And now you're taking all that expertise and all those skills to help seniors during the most important time of their life, the golden years. How'd you come up with this?
The name Golden Years, or
Whatever, all of it.
all of the above. Well, the name Golden Years, just because I believe that those are the golden years. They can be really happy days ahead of you. Doesn't have to be a negative, something negative. Sometimes people think of assisted living as not a fun place to be, and I go to these places and they have parties and car shows and musicians come in, and it can be very enjoyable. I think it can be even a better quality of life than being at home aging in place. Some people want to do that. That's fine, but it's a very good option for many. As far as getting into this business, I had a real estate client who had a home to sell. And when I arrived at the home ready to give him a listing presentation, I had to throw the listing presentation out the window because it wasn't the type of home you could really sell on the MLS. The gentleman was sharp as a tack. His mind was perfectly sound, but his body had failed him. Was not married. He had no family, no friends that could help him, and the home was in disrepair. So he needed to sell the home in order to pay for care. I have worn many hats within real estate, and rehabbing houses and construction is one of them. So it wasn't the type of home you could sell. You couldn't get a loan on the home due to its condition. But I did know of folks who fix homes up. And so they were able to buy it as is and give him a fair price for it so he could pay for the care. And in that process, he needed help more than just a real estate agent. He needed help moving in to the new community. And I helped him with that. And that was a long 12-hour day, just helping him move and packing boxes. And do you want this shirt? Do you want this pair of shoes? Do you want this painting? Because you can't go from a large home to assisted living community. It's usually a 1 or 2 bedrooms there. So we had to help him right size. And so I helped him with that. And he needed it. He didn't have anyone. And it kind of played my heartstrings a little bit because he needed help beyond what the normal services of a real estate agent would have been.
Wow, that must be so gratifying because that seems like the genesis of this, and that's what helped you see, the great need that you can serve here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing that story. Because there's so much to unpack. And I know there are agencies around that help with the move. There's other senior advisors around. But what I think, with your skill set from real estate, it totally goes into this because I know there's some, options where people can buy in. There's so many different things that people don't know about. And I'm going to let you teach us about it in a second. So I got so excited that I skipped over your bio. So you are originally from Puerto Rico, grew up in San Diego. You play instruments. When did you learn all these instruments? You're a pilot. What's your favorite instrument? You told me about a guitar and a piano.
I play both of those, but my favorite instrument is my voice.
Oh, and you sing. Look at that.
I
So
do.
see, guys, with this senior advisor, you're going to get fully entertained. Wow. So yeah, all right. Well then I want to go into, educating the listeners. You may be in hitting your golden years right now. You may be living in an oversized house. It's become a lot to maintain. You need to downsize. Maybe, your body is slowing down and you want to consider a new home. And as we have talked about on this podcast before, it's important to find your new home when you can enjoy your new home and get accustomed to it and not, wait until the last minute. And so we're gonna get into that. James here, you shared about that client of yours who you moved into the new community after selling the home that was in disrepair, and you shared how he's eating better, socializing, surrounded by peers, and have a better quality of life. Would you say that people not understanding that is a barrier to getting them to, sell the house? What do you think about that? Like, not some people don't want to sell their family home, but some people need to. So could you help us talk about that?
Absolutely. And they don't always have to. I mean, there could be a situation where another relative moves in, or maybe they rent the home out, and they use that rental income to help pay for the care. They don't always have to sell it, but if it makes sense for them to sell it, sometimes their kids live in a different state, so they don't want to have a rental, or they'd prefer to sell it in order for their mom or dad to pay for care. With that particular client, he just wasn't able to take care of himself. He needed assisted living, and he's happy now. He's much happier. I talked to him a couple weeks ago, and he's eating better. And just as I told you previously, he has better socialization, and there's entertainment there, and they bring musicians in, and that's a lot better than in this particular case than for him to age in place at his home, where he wasn't cooking, he wasn't eating well, he was just eating TV dinners, and he didn't have any peers and socialization around.
So, okay, well then let's talk about the steps in, getting your services as a senior living advisor. Not every senior is very savvy with the computer, but they may Google senior living and, not really know what's out there. But I heard there's a lot of internet scams or potential scams going on out there, and they need to be careful with giving their email out to various people out there. Do you have any insights about that? I mean, I don't want to say anyone's name in particular, but I know that you are providing a concierge personalized service for folks, but there are big companies that are doing other things.
Yes, so a lot of people don't know that my services exist. Even folks who work in the senior industry. I met with an elder law attorney recently, and she flat out told me, I had no idea that your services was even offered, because there's no cost to the senior or their family. The community will pay me to help connect them to the right community. So there's no cost to them. And then with me, obviously, they get a long contact list of anything that they may need to help them, whether it be someone like you to help them with the medical things, or somebody to help them move, or to right size their house. I can help them at during any part of the process. Earlier is better than when there's an urgent need, when they have to find a community urgently, but I can also help them with that. But if somebody, let's say the daughter of a senior, went on Google and just started Googling, there's a couple of companies that would pop up first, because that's kind of how it works. The more money you spend, then the higher you rank with SEO, and then also with pay-per-click ads. Somebody innocently could put their information in, but then that digital footprint now belongs to that company. And I think sometimes people do that. They don't realize it. And then they may get a lot of, or not may, they will get a lot of phone calls from different communities asking them to come toward their community, choose us, choose us, choose us. And that can be a little overwhelming when they're trying to find the best care for their parent. They may not want to have to receive so many intrusive phone calls, because at that point, their privacy, their information is no longer private. But I keep people's information private and only reveal that to the community when they've chosen one that they want to move into.
Yeah. And I like, while we were preparing this episode, we were just talking about the different steps. First you meet the family and you told me you listen. That's like a doctor too. I can't diagnose and treat unless I listen to their story. So you're listening to what their needs are, so that you have the understanding about the various options that they have. And then you tour with them also, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. So maybe, I went to your website. It's great. I saw you have a tab under living options. So maybe we could go through and just kind of give a brief intro about what each option is, because people don't know about this. Most folks, again, they're at home and they don't know about this world out here, in addition to not knowing about you. So maybe we can go down the list.
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. For some folks, an independent living community is best for them. They still want to cook their own meals. They just want to have a community there if they need extra care, or they want to have things to parties to go to, and barbecues and things all around them, but they want to be very independent. They still want to drive and buy their own groceries and all of that, and they absolutely can. And independent would be a good option for them. For some folks, assisted living, because they have some needs. They have some medical needs and need some assistance. And for those folks, assisted living would be a better fit. And a lot of times you can find them both in the same community. There'll
Hmm.
be some parts of the community are independent, but as somebody ages, if they have additional needs, then they're already there. They don't even have to move. They can just receive those additional needs if they need them. There's also memory care. If somebody has slight dementia or advanced dementia, then they're memory care communities where you have a lot of hands-on to make sure that the family member is safe and enjoying those years as well. And they do activities with them, and it's important that you have people that care about you around. My grandfather had Alzheimer's, and we took care of him for as long as we could. But he's what they called an eloper, which means that he knew how to unlock the door, and if we were gone grocery shopping, or he would decide to go for a long walk, but sometimes he wouldn't come back for many hours. And so for the health of the senior in that situation, a memory care would be better. Also, there are board and care homes, and these are smaller homes, literally a single family residence. Usually there's only 6 beds or less. And if somebody has some additional needs, but they need more one-on-one attention, then that is also a good fit for somebody as well.
Nice. And then I see on your website you have a couple other things: Respite Care Center for Retired and Skilled Nursing. Could you enlighten the listeners about that?
Sure, if somebody has an injury, they may have a fall and they may need to recover from a fall, let's say, then skilled nursing could be a good fit for them, or respite care. And that's temporary. Typically, it's just to help them recover through an injury. But once they've recovered, they don't typically stay in either one of those places. They'll need to either go back home to where they were living before, or find an assisted living community or board and care home that can help them after they've recovered.
Sounds good. Yeah. So all everyone, this is a really good description. I love the pictures you selected so then folks know what it is. Maybe you could help us also understand, there's some places that have all of it in one. They have a SNF, they have independent living, they have assisted living, they have a memory care, and some places have buy-ins and all that stuff. And that's way over my head. All I know is I have to do the 602 to help them move in, because these are non-medical places. But maybe you could help us understand when it's a good idea to do a buy-in option or whatever. What is that?
Yeah, there's so many different options. So that's why it's good to chat with someone like myself to help guide them through what the best fit would be. And there are communities that they have it all. But just as you mentioned, there is a buy-in, and that buy-in could be $100,000. It could be $500,000. It really depends on where that community is located and the offerings of the community. But you buy into the community and you can stay there for the rest of your life. You still have monthly costs as well. It's not a one-time buy-in and then that's it. However, whatever needs you have, maybe you start off as independent, but as you age, you need assisted, and maybe at some point you need skilled nursing. They have it all under one roof. And so whatever your needs are for the rest of your life, that's available for you. And so for some folks, that's a good fit. Maybe they're independent right now, but they don't want to deal with maintaining a home, and they just want to know this is home for the rest of my life. I don't have to move anywhere else again. That could be a good fit for them.
I think that's great because, the more that I'm out here, I'm learning more about the different communities. A family may select one community, but it's not the best fit for their loved one's medical needs, right? I recently had someone voice concerns, and wanting to reach out to the ombudsman about, some things that they were seeing, during a visit. But I don't think it's a problem with the community. I just think it's not a good fit for the healthcare needs. So that's why having someone like yourself, who knows what's going on to assess the situation, you can help guide them. As you keep using that word guide, you're sending them in the right direction so that they can have their final home and not have to move again. Because it would be devastating, I can imagine, if a senior moved out of the home they've been in for 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, and then they move somewhere, they've downsized, they think that's it, and then they have to move again because their health changes. And so it's really that's where I come in. That's why the 602 is so important. And that's why when I meet with families, I make sure they have the big picture. I try to let them see what the path is going to be like so that they can make informed decisions. And so I think what you're doing is great work and guiding these folks to their new home. So, any other thoughts on this?
Uh, just that, just to let people know that there are people out there that are ready, willing to help them and care about them and are empathetic to whatever their needs may be. And I'm one of those people. So if somebody feels that senior living community would be right for them, happy to be their Sherpa and guide them through the process.
I like that. That keeps coming up, the guide. All right, James, thank you for being here. Talking to us about Golden Year Senior Living Advisors. And thank you for your work, your empathy, your expertise in finding homes and just helping people get settled. They need options. And so thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you, Dr. G.
All right. Peace out.
Bye-bye.